Alright, so I'm going to take you through a particular type of transport that we talk about in biology, which is called diffusion. And diffusion is probably the simplest type of transport, which is why we sometimes call it simple diffusion. So let's look at diffusion in the context of biology, where we're looking at the transport of substances across the plasma membrane. And I'm going to assume you guys already know, and if you don't, go back and have a look at your other notes, the structure of the plasma membrane, in the sense that it's our phospholipid bilayer, and that's what I'm representing by these double lines here. So in biology, diffusion is when a substance goes from an area of higher concentration straight across the membrane through the phospholipid bilayer to an area of low concentration. So we say they're going down their concentration gradient. And with diffusion, it's diffusing straight through the plasma membrane. It's not using any transport proteins of any type. So for a molecule to diffuse through the plasma membrane, we're specifically talking about lipophilic molecules, which are molecules that have sort of an affinity to a lipid type environment. So they're the opposite to hydrophilic molecules, which have an affinity to water. So the plasma membrane, because it's a phospholipid bilayer, it's this whole region of a lipid environment, and lipophilic molecules are able to dissolve and travel through that. So diffusion, it's passive transport, no energy is required, transport of a substance, specifically a lipophilic substance, down its concentration gradient from an area of high concentration to low. Good examples are oxygen, carbon dioxide. So for example, with oxygen, you might have oxygen diffusing from your capillaries, which are a blood vessel, and oxygen is quite rich in your capillaries, across to a muscle cell, which might have a lower concentration of oxygen. So oxygen goes from the capillaries into the muscles. The muscles, which are going through cellular respiration, are producing carbon dioxide. The capillaries have a relatively low concentration, so carbon dioxide diffuses from the muscle cell across into the blood cell. And there's heaps of other examples we'll talk about as we move through the course.